At the end of the streets, just meet me. At the end of the streets, just meet me. At the end of the streets, just meet me. At the end of the street. Oh, this is a track. Pause the track.
This is the new one.
I like this one.
I like it.
This is a good song.
Yeah, but people are expecting come on.
The thing is, I couldn't find it. I can't find come on. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. It was on my computer yesterday, and for some reason it's not there anymore.
And just like you can't find Travesty tonight either.
Yeah, Travesty. So we say happy birthday to Travesty.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Hope you're having a good one.
Yeah, no one gave you the night off. Nobody gave you the night off, by the way, but you know, we'll let you off for today. So how's everyone doing? Welcome to Family Affair. Tonight it's just the three of us heading it up.
Just the three of us.
I'm here this week.
Oh yeah, you were there last week, innit?
Yeah, the connection was rubbish. I don't know who bought that Wi-Fi. It was rubbish. Rubbish. That's all I can say.
And we was there talking like I was talking to you, and no pudding.
Yeah.
And that was the week I really wanted to be in as well.
Yeah.
You can make up for it this week anyway. So what's on the agenda? How are we starting today?
Well, I'd honestly like Pudding's feedback on the school that was protesting because the headmaster didn't approve of afros. Was it afros? And we touched on it slightly last week.
What is it?
Do you remember
the academy down in London?
Yes, okay, that's it.
Got the name of it.
Share this.
Yeah.
But this has been going on for time. We already know this has been going on for time. The whole thing of systematic racism in schools, certain hairstyles you can't have, certain attire you can't wear.
Yeah.
You know, it happens in jobs as well. So I don't know what people are really expecting from this. You know, I'll just say, just let the young people just, you know, wear the hijabs or, you know, the afros in honor of their culture or the religion or whatnot. Just let them be. It doesn't affect the learning.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really ridiculous because when you sit and think about it, even if they said, all right, all girls need to have a ponytail, for instance, what would it matter whether it was an afro ponytail or a straightened ponytail? It's a ponytail, you know.
I actually watched a documentary. It was on BBC. The parents got fined because their daughter, she'd mixed race, but she had the proper afro hair and she was very proud of it. And she'd always have like this big frizzy, nice bushy afro ponytail or have it out. And I think it was like 3 strikes since she was out rule, and the mum kicked off. The mum's white, dad's black. The mum kicked off. She said, you know, can't help the fact that my daughter has this type of hair and she wants to embrace it. Why not? And the dad was a Rasta man, if I recall. I don't know if the documentary's still up, but I remember watching it a couple of years back.
And how did it resolve? Do you remember?
I don't know. I don't know if they protest or they went to the governors or something, but I know it was pushed further. Obviously, it had to because they made the show about it. But they say it's not on, and I agree, it's not on. Why they're making such of a issue and putting a stop to that young girl's education and her learning just for her hair.
Exactly. It is true because, as you said, Pudding, they can't help. No race can help the quality of their hair.
Yeah.
And the person shouldn't be judged on it. I mean, back in my day, it was they couldn't come to school with the locks, you know. But to a degree, I could actually understand because they also said you couldn't come to school as a punk rocker, you know, with your multicolored hair where it might be spiked up and whatnot. So I can understand to a degree maybe some hairstyles back, but this was in my day. Maybe some hairstyles didn't fit in with the school, you know, regime or whatever, you know. But we've moved on since then, you know, you shouldn't be judged on the quality of your hair.
No, that's wrong. That's encouraging the racism and the divide amongst young people. And I'm thinking because obviously when I was in school, it was more the case of you can't have like night ticks in your like shaved into your scalp or bright coloured hair and hair dyes. I remember that, and that was just a general rule anyway. Like you can't have that. you know, but then now it's coming to the point, are they seeing that in this generation, a lot of people are mixing and coming together, and is it a hidden agenda, no pun intended, to kind of not make the youngsters be as united as they are? Because I feel like this lockdown has shown that it's the younger generation are a lot more united than what I experienced growing up watching the older generation, if I'm honest.
Very true, very true.
So it could be a hidden agenda there.
It could be. I think they probably still want the divide and conquer thing to still be going on, and they are seeing that young people are united. That is true, and I think they can't accept it. But what they've got to actually start accepting is that they won't always be here. So allow the young people to do what they're doing, because at the end of the day, when all the old fogies are gone, what's going to happen? But then you've still got the old fogies instilling this kind of institutional racism into their children anyway. Oh, look at that person there. Look at their hair. Look at it's cotton wool. Or look at they're still instilling it, which spoils it for the young people that are united, because they'll have to battle young people who have still got the mentality of the older generation.
I think as well, adding on to that, it's actually teaching young people and children to focus on things that they shouldn't really take notice of, because you can tell children are really, really innocent because of the field that I work in. No one's knowing what this child is, the individual that I'm working with. They just treat him like anything else, speak to him any other way. But then when it comes to the behind the scenes dealing with the adults, oh, you can't do that because of this, and he's got that, he'll never know this, or she will never know that, or he won't. I'm thinking children are a lot more understanding than we think, the innocence. I remember, I know going back years, I remember being in nursery, and I remember having someone who had rotten teeth, and I didn't look always like rotten teeth at the age of 5 or 4. I just wanted to play with him, and I loved playing with him. I always remember that. But then when you get to a certain age, you're more self-aware, and then that's always pinpoint, oh, you can't work with that person, or, speak to that person because they look a certain way. And that's what they're doing when it comes to the hijabs and afros. Like, there's no reason to highlight that is happening. People are wearing what they want to wear and being cultured.
It does need to stop, to be honest. I think the older generation and the governors, the school governors, should be held accountable, and brought to the realization that we're living in a different world now. And you can't keep thinking, it's no good. This is the way I see it. It's no good investing in new, what's the word I'm looking for? Say, for instance, new equipment or new computer stuff. Yes, that's it, new technology. Yet you don't want to allow the newness of how the young people want to carry themselves. It's ridiculous. It's like what's the word? A double side? No, it's not. It's like one. Yeah, it's a bit unfair, and I think they do need to be held accountable. They do need to have a sort of regular meetings with the youngsters and get their input on how they would like things to go, and then meet halfway. But I do think the older generation, yes, and the school governors, they do need to be held accountable, because they are trying to be so narrow-minded, and they're not open to a modernisation of how people are, and they're just not open enough.
Yeah. Do we actually know the rules, like when it comes to school and how children?
Uniform is the uniform.
Well, they usually send you out a list of how the school conduct, is it? The
Code
school
of conduct, isn't it?
Yeah, I know they have policies. Yeah. One policy of I've recent, there's no discrimination and racism, and there's certain language you've got to use. I know there's all of that, but it'd be interesting to know what this in particular school have got in their policy, because someone could actually highlight and say, no, actually, when has this become a rule about no hijabs, no afros, or whatever? Because some of them try to pull the wool over your eyes and thinking that's not stated in the policy.
Yeah.
Actually, I've just pulled up a school behaviour policy that seems to exist at the www.gov.uk.
Yeah, go on.
Obviously, it says school behaviour policies. every school has a behavior policy which lists the rules of conduct for pupils before and after school, as well as during the school day. The policy should also say what the school does to prevent bullying. You can ask the school for a copy of the policy document. And so it's punishments. Schools can punish pupils if they behave badly. What constitutes
behaving badly?
What is behaving badly? What is that?
Yeah.
Being a kid.
That's a broad spectrum, what they can put under that.
Yeah.
It could be as simple as you standing in the corridor when you shouldn't be.
Yeah,
it could be as simple as that.
It's open to interpretation. I could say, I don't like that way that kid looks today. He's behaving badly. So I can tell him off. I can send a letter home. I can remove him from class or groups, confiscate something inappropriate for school. For example, mobile phone, MP3 player, or detention.
Exactly. And I think a lot of them do actually jump on the bandwagon and use it to their own ends.
Yeah.
Especially if they've had a bad day. Some teachers will sort of take it out on the children.
Yeah.
Physical contact. School staff can use reasonable force to control and restrain pupils. This could also include leading a pupil by the arm into a classroom. They're allowed to touch the kids, man.
I don't know.
Some schools, there's a certain rule, and they have stuff such as team teach, how you can restrain some children, or there's some schools you can't touch, you can't hug, you can't high five. It depends on what school and stuff, to be honest.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a school that's like that, where you can't physically get involved, like literally put your arm out in the way, to block a fight from happening or something, or them absconding or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, it seems to be well thought out anyway. It seems to be basically based on the punishments. Like they've got exclusions listed, discipline. So it seems to be all the punishments for if you do something bad, but there doesn't seem to be any rules. I guess that's all it is. School and absence attendance.
Commonly, they do a rule where you can get physical with a child only if they're at harm to themselves or harm to others. That's the popular one. Other than that, shouldn't really touch or go near or whatnot. I don't know. You know what's shocking me, actually? Detentions in primary school. I'm like,
detentions in primary school now?
Yeah.
Jesus.
When
soon it'll be put in nursery. Soon it'll be in nursery.
Since when? You get a detention, you miss your playtime. I'm thinking, what? I remember in the upper key stage, but lower key stage, it's quite popular that they're doing that now.
That's been around for a very long time. If you've misbehaved or you haven't done your little bit of schoolwork or reading, they used to let you miss your playtime. I think that's nothing
that makes
new.
sense. But it's crept into detention now.
Yeah, that's probably what they're calling it now. But then back then it was you just miss your playtime. Something, so I don't think that's anything new. And to be honest, I don't think there's anything really wrong with that. I think it would become a problem if they said you had after school detention and you're only in junior and infants. I don't think that should apply.
No.
So yeah.
So while we're on this topic of schools, we've got this kid here, this dyslexic lad who's 12. He's written off by schools. Let me accept this rubbish. Written off at school, pens, books, runs restaurants and hosts TV shows. He's 12 years old.
12 years old.
And he's dyslexic, which means absolutely nothing, to be fair. Doesn't dyslexic mean he can do one thing really well? Or is that autism?
No,
which one is the one?
Dyslexic is when you get your numbers jumbled up a bit.
Okay.
It's not just numbers, it's just comprehension when it comes to reading and writing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I know that's that. I'm just having a look at him. Oh, this is so good. I didn't see
really
that.
good. It's really amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. He's a chef? No, he's not a chef. Not many children have set up their own business. He's got his own business at 12. I'm like going on to 40 and I can't even set a bath.
That's true, literally.
Yeah, like.
You know, it's amazing that, you know, this has happened. And what I find really, really good is the fact that they've actually put it out there as news rather than hiding it behind
good
COVID.
news. It's finally good news. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really wonderful.
Yeah. So that's us, man. The black race looks promising. Sort of.
What about the next young, it's a young lad, isn't it, as well? The body found in the pond in Essex.
Oh yeah, that's Richard. What bothered me about this story was the way they wrote it.
Go on.
A 19-year-old lad who had sickle cell disease. And I'm like, why did they have to write that? You know, yeah, okay. A 19-year-old lad has not been seen by his family since the 22nd of March.
Yeah.
Why do they have to put that he was sick? Why they gotta make it, you know?
It's true. They could have.
Is it important that we know that he was sick? Is that the reason why he died? Is that, I don't know.
That could well be. It could well be that could be the reason why.
They mentioned. Sorry to cut you, Mideyah. I know they mentioned that because that was the reason why he was kept home and he weren't allowed to really go out at all. Like his family was very strict with him going out during the pandemic because he has this illness and that played a part in his mental health. That's what they've basically explained.
Okay, wait.
So when did he disappear? He disappeared. He's not allowed to go out, but he disappeared.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think it was unbeknownst to his mum, that he just left. And then he left and he went further out than what he really should have. Wasn't it 20 miles he went from where he lived?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 20 miles from where he lived, something like that.
Okay, so symptoms of sickle cell, anemia. Sickle cell breaks apart easily and dies, leaving you with too few red blood cells. Episodes of pain. Okay, so you're going to be pain. Swelling of hands and feet. Okay, good, yeah. Frequent infections. Sickle cell can damage your spleen, leaving you more vulnerable to infections. A delay in growth or puberty. Visual problems. So how is this the reason why he left his house?
No, meaning because he was shielding
medication.
Yes, but the thing is, I don't know, man. I'm just maybe I'm clutching at straws here, but I'm just like, why did I have to write that? Why can't I just be like, yeah, the guy who we've been looking for? You know, remember the police said, what did the police say? If we can't find him, if you can't find him, how are we gonna find him? But then they spent 11 million trying to find this Madeleine whatever her name is, Madeleine McCain.
Yeah,
11 million, but this one dude. We can't find him. And they didn't even give it like a couple of days. It was just like, we can't find him. But with Madeleine McCain, I think they're still looking to this day.
They are. It does give you food for thought, to be honest.
Yeah.
It really does give you food for thought. But going on from that, because it does link up in an unfortunate way, is this thing where they're investigating racism in the church. Now, because think about it, what we've just talked about, it does make you think institutional racism, maybe. Is it because, he's a black lad, we'll put this, it looks more whatever. I'm surprised they didn't put a black 19-year-old lad found in the pond, died of COVID, who had sickle cell disease. I'm surprised they didn't put that. But going on from that, the racism in the church.
Okay.
Now, I find this really, really, I think I'd use the word ridiculous that they've actually decided to investigate it now when racism has been going on from the beginning of the Bible. Are you seeing it? Is the church racist?
Is the church racist?
Yeah.
Okay, Panorama investigates allegations of racism in the Church of England. A year after the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, admitted that the church was still deeply institutionally racist and that he was ashamed of its record. Reporter Clive Myrie meets vicar, curates, and theological trainees to understand the scale of the problem. He hears stories of racist abuse and claims of a culture that creates a hostile environment for Christians of color. Some say they have been told to turn the other cheek when they have raised complaints. Others say they have suffered in silence for fear of further discrimination or losing their jobs.
What jobs in the church? What job's this? That's the part that confused me. What thing? No. This shows you straight away.
Clergy.
No. Doesn't it show you straight away that they don't believe in God? They obviously don't, because if their job's more important, think about it. They obviously don't believe in God. It's just a job to them.
The thing is, I mean, sorry, man, that's funny.
I think the fear of losing their job.
Well, I think if you look at the American model of church, you tend to have like the black people have their own churches, and the European Americans have their own churches, and it seems to be a good system. And then there's no racism, I guess. And I even think that they should have their own Jesuses too. Jesus should be a black dude in a black church.
I think they probably have.
Yeah, and a white dude in a white church. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Really.
So what colour would our Jesus be then? Think about it. What colour would our Jesus be?
Brown?
Oh, he'd be brown. And would he have blue eyes, or would he have brown eyes, or
No, I said that the African Americans, us, should have the brown Jesus, and we call him something else. We call him Tyrone or something, or I don't know, or Garfield. I don't know, something more of like a black name.
You know, when you listen to how we're talking about this, it just shows you what a load of crock religion is, because the fact that there's racism in an institute where they're supposed to be living under an environment of love. Think about it. Really think about it.
I think humans are just...
religion should not play a part of believing in God at all. It should not have no bearing in it, because if you can be racist and then you pray to God for your place in heaven,
I think people are just
diabolical.
I think people are just full of faults. That's the problem, isn't it? It doesn't, you indoctrinated throughout your whole life to like this type of thing and that type of thing and dislike this. And I think you can't just rid yourself of that. That takes years of therapy.
No. If God said, love thy neighbor as thyself, why are you in the church being racist?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
This is why I don't get it. I don't get the whole, how can you say you a Christian or whatever and you're racist? How can you be? It shouldn't even come in the same sentence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. It's just so ridiculous. I said nothing. How dare these people? They go to church once a week and they think they've laid all their sins at the church door, and then they come out and they say, "Oh, I hate that nigger," or "I hate that because they wear a hijab," or "I hate that person because he speaks a language I don't understand." And then they'll go to church the next week and lay their sins at the door and come out and do the same thing again. Just think about it.
Are you explaining the movie Life? But that's how they are in life, isn't it? They're all like, God, and oh God, they go to church, and they're like, that nigger boy, and I'm like, what?
That's the one I don't. That's another thing I don't get. Is I watch a lot of European films, and this is leading on slightly away from racism in the church. I just don't understand when, say for instance, someone's done them wrong, and the first thing they'll say is, I hope God does this evil to them. I hope God does this to them. And I'm saying to myself, how can you be praying to God to do something wicked to someone who you feel has wronged you? Why would you not say, I hope God melts this person's heart so they become a good person and right what they've wronged. No, they always want God to do something wicked to them. And I've never understood the mentality. Why do they think that's okay? I don't get it. Alstalio, help me.
I just think people are selfish, I guess. People want I think one guy said that most people think they're the center of the universe, and they think that their way is the right way.
Yeah.
And they never want to be told about anything, and they just become stubborn, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, you could tell, you could present people with the truth right in their face, and it's not going to do anything. It's not going to bring anything. That's it.
And I think that's what's happened with religion and politics. They're one in the same to me. They've got this way they think, and nothing. They're not open to change. They're not open to see that they may be doing things wrong. They're not open to it. Mm-hmm. They're very closed-minded, very narrow-minded.
No.
You know, and that's why I've always said you should not have religion or politics involved with the name God. Should not at all. You know, because the ways are just not right. It's just not right.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. It's definitely difficult. And but one thing I do want to add is I think religion and politics have the biggest machine behind them, and that's the media. As long as the media is behind them, they'll always be at the top.
Yeah.
Be at the top.
Yeah.
And their agenda and their message will always be pushed around through society in every area. But let's hope, maybe not in our lifetime, but soon enough it'll change. The place will change. It'll have to change, you know, at some point. Maybe we're seeing it now.
Yeah,
maybe we see the start of the change. Yeah.
Sorry, Alstalio, I've forgotten you, but imagine someone 100 years ago said those same very words that you've said just.
But the thing is, it's getting better.
Is it getting better?
It's getting better. I think it's getting better. I think like the people I'd be interested to hear is the people in about 200 years from now talking, because they'll be like, you guys were crazy back then. You know, they'll be like, what we say about the Neanderthals and stuff like this. Like, they're not very smart and they're stupid. But then again, they were more developed humans than us because they understood not to destroy their house where they live. They understood that. They took what they needed from the land and left the rest. We've gone backwards, if anything. We got smarter, but we've gone backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Where we let pieces of paper drive us crazy.
I think we've gone backwards because we've got the use of the computer and it's made us lazy. So I think we've gone backwards because of that in many aspects. Because if you think about it, look at what the computer has given us. It's given us a social media, hasn't it? So we no longer have to go out and make the effort to make friendships. We don't no longer have to go out and work in a lot of jobs. We can do it in the comfort of our own homes. So we're not developing because the computer has started to work for us. So we're not using our minds and our brains enough. So I do think that's what's happened. That's why we are going backwards, because we haven't got a real reason to use our own brains, because we can just put it all in the computer and let it do it for us. If we want a friend, let's just talk to someone online. You know, I don't have to make the effort. I can say whatever I want. Whereas if in reality, you'd have to take the time to know that person, to know if it's someone you'd want to be friends with. No, you could be friends with a murderer. It wouldn't matter because you don't have to make the effort because you're online lying. You see, that's why we've gone backwards.
Liars online is the main topic of the week, really.
Yeah, it's very true. Very true.
Let's see. Do we want to talk about the last thing? We'll talk about this Brazil thing because I've obviously in Black Ops we have a Brazilian correspondent who liaises with us and tells us what's really happening in Brazil.
Yeah.
So there was this headline basically. Let me see. I'm going to put this. I'll share
4,000 die in 24 hours of COVID.
Yeah. The thing is, I have a theory with this guy that they've got a president in there who's kind of like the Brazilian Trump, kind of. People like him, people don't like him. Oh, he says here on the side, experts say George Floyd died from lack of oxygen. Well, no doo-doo, man. If something sits in your neck.
It's true.
It's true.
Not COVID.
That might stop oxygen getting to where it needs to go.
Exactly.
Maybe just a thought, So anyway, there's a guy in control in Brazil, and he's this guy Jazz Bolsonaro, his name is, and I think he's a bit more like, we need to get rid of some people kind of mentality. So he's basically kept Brazil open throughout this whole pandemic. Say, look, don't worry about it. Nothing to see here. Keep going on about your business. We're good. Start letting this scare you. Now, depending on who you are, you don't really care. Like, you continue doing what you're doing. But if you're someone who's scared of like this virus, this pandemic that's going around, I can imagine having someone like that at the helm would make you a little bit nervous, So anyway, but I've got this guy in Brazil, and he's saying what he sees is nothing. He lives in a favela, so I don't know what the thing is. Favelas are very populated, densely populated areas, and he said no one's dying here. Everyone's good. He said the last person to die here was probably like 6 months ago or something. And he says, as far as he knows, where he lives, there's no COVID. He lives in Rio de Janeiro. So I don't know where these numbers are focused.
I think personally, Elstalio, they just want to keep COVID in the limelight.
Probably.
Because people like me and Pudding and yourself are bored of it. We don't really want to hear about it. So they know this is what's happening. So they've got to keep it up there because they haven't completed their agenda. So let's put some more news out there. Let's bring it back to life again. What do you think, Pudding? Pudding?
They just, I was on about this yesterday with somebody. I said the whole thing with COVID, I feel like they fuel off the fabrications that we make. I feel like humans can be their own worst enemy. We can be the trolls at times. You make these fabrications. It's like this Chinese whispers. You could say to me, Mideyah, you don't have to have the vaccine passport if you're black, for example. And then I could be like, you don't have to have the vaccine passport if you've already had COVID because you're immune. You know what I mean? It always escalates to something further than what it is. So 9 times out of 10, things are put in the air that haven't even been thought of probably by the government. You've got the fact of their ideas come from us sometimes. So sometimes it's like you don't need to put information out there because I guarantee that people from the news and the government use some form of social media platform and get ideas from us as the public.
They do.
So I feel like, because the whole thing as well, remember I was saying that before lockdown even was a thought for the UK, I remember going on something and a pop-up came up saying that America have decided, whether it was a virus or what, America have decided that lockdown will continue until 2023. So basically saying society ain't going to be freed from this whole pandemic until then. Now I'm hearing that someone stated, whether it's true or not, because I don't watch the news, in the political field that, lockdown's going to last until 2022. That's when things will start being, we can go and do things without masks and don't have to social distance and stuff. And I'm thinking, there you go, that wasn't thought of at that point, at the beginning. But I feel like when these ideas are thrown in the air, people then think, actually, that's not a bad idea. Let me clock onto that.
You're right. And I've got to be honest with you, the public do run with it because every time I hear it, I want to go on holiday, so I've got to have my vaccine. So
who said that's going to be facts?
I always question them and I says, well, where did you get this information from?
Yeah, if Boris doesn't announce it or anyone else.
I said, is it on .gov UK? And, they can never answer. I think who's they? I always ask them. And I said, this is why it will become that way, because you've run with it anyway. The public have run with it, so the government will put it in place because you've accepted it before it was announced. They have accepted the vaccine passport and, having vaccines to go on holiday. So the government will put it in place. But then they're going to have a fight on their hands because What about those people who cannot have the vaccine because of medical purposes, like they could be allergic to or react badly to things like this? Are they going to discriminate against those people so they can't travel?
Well, you know what's actually bizarre? I'm seeing a lot on my social media platform that a lot of people that have had the vaccinations who were very like, oh no, I'm not going to see my mom because obviously COVID and blah, blah. Those who were going out, I should grass on you, you know, those sort of people. They've had the vaccination now, and now this whole passport idea is out there. They're against it, and I'm really confused. I'm thinking you've been promoting having your vaccine and staying safe. Why are you not going to have the passport? But then they were saying it's discriminative towards those who can't have the vaccine because of allergies and underlying issues and whatnot. But I'm thinking, can you really fault those that have agreed to, okay, yes, let's do the whole vaccination thing and bring it to the UK or whatnot, those who approve it, because I don't know who it is. You basically made them think, oh, you're going to have the vaccine, let's try and push it. You know, when people get an inch and want a mile, that's exactly what they're doing. They've given us the inch. By the sounds of it, everyone's taking that inch. Now they're thinking, let's dash the mile in there. If they want to go abroad, let's have the passport. No one's looking at it like that.
Except we are looking at it that way. We're looking at the bigger picture. It's just so annoying that, you know, the people run with these ideas and then they give the government something, you know, that they can work with.
Yeah.
We have to look at it the other side because Australia actually mentioned this last time. Now, it could also be reverse psychology where the government already had the intention, so they got the media to put it in the response of the public. And when they're getting this sort of, you know, response, oh, I've got to have the vaccine because I want to go on holiday, they realise that, you know, it's going to be easy for them to put it into place. So there's two ways to look at it. Either way, it's bad.
Alstalio, did you see that clip that I tagged you in about the young boy who's 12 and he was questioning why weren't the masks when there was Ebola?
Oh, yeah, I said it. Yeah. No, I thought the woman who was commentating over it was a bit... I know, so
that's what put me off. Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh my God, you're so great!
And I was thinking that as well.
I was like, shut up, man.
I was like that as well. I was like, calm down.
It's just a kid, and you're only 12, and you know all that knowledge. And I'm like, you know what? He just got it repeated to him anyway. That's why he knows it. His family's probably talking about it every day. He's picked it up. And now he's just wrong with it. He doesn't know. He hasn't sat there and read books. He hasn't gone through biological studies, science, you know, technology, and forget of it. He's just heard people repeating it.
Just got no reason. Repeat it, and I've got to have the vaccine because I want to go on holiday. All he checks is people keep repeating it, then another person repeats, and then it gets all over the world, and then it's in place. Same thing.
Yeah. All right, man. I don't know. I think we've exhausted it today.
Yeah.
So we'll go around the table. Any last words, Mideyah?
All I've got to say is, holla, holla.
Yeah, I knew it. Pudding.
You know what? I've been really thinking hard. I'm thinking the only way we're probably going to get out of this alive is just to be vegan. That's what I'm thinking. So just so vegan and hope for the best that I'm just, you know, I'm not going to be bought into this malarkey that everyone's promoting, this vaccine and illness and whatnot. It's never ending. Well, yeah, that's all that's on my mind.
I don't know where you go with that vegan thing. I don't know. I mean, I support it, but you're going to make us lose all our listeners.
You really think? None of some good vegan cuisine. You know, when you come down, you got to go to Morrison's. You know, the vegan side of Morrison's is really upgraded.
That's what I
promote it. I want to try. I really do want to try. It looks good.
I think
What was you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that each to their own.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we're not affiliated with no way assault with Morrison's, by the way. So I think they could sing us out to this because there's no low. I found the music, I just can't find the vocal version. So here you go.
Go on then. You know I love you, I wanna be with you. You can count me when you're ready.
You she's gonna come in when it starts. Okay,
We're waiting for you to start.
I was there.
No,
I was there.
no. In a minute. Now.
One step at a time, we will be fine. One step at a time.
Got the look.
So you got the love and you got the time. You put on the time. We will be fine. Come out to keep. Ooh, come on. If you got the time, if you got the love, babe, we will be fine.